Hey NFT world, what's up? My name is Gen Furukawa, and today I want to show you how I use OpenSea to buy NFTs. So OpenSea is the largest marketplace for NFTs. Last year, 2021, they did $10 billion in NFT sales. This year will probably be far greater than that. But if you're first going there to buy your first NFT, it can be a little bit overwhelming, and there are many different filters and ways to buy and ways to analyze the data that could be helpful in determining whether a project is right for you, if it's in your budget, what the previous history is. So today I want to show you a little bit of how I maneuver around the site and things that you might want to ask yourself as you're looking into buying your first NFT or your any NFT. So the first thing is looking at the floor price. So this is one project that I bought into recently called Loser Club Official. One quick note is that there are a lot of scam projects on OpenSea. So you do want to make sure that you're clicking directly from the official website of the project or from their Twitter profile, the official Twitter profile. So be very careful because there are a lot of links where it could be some small change in the URL and some slight change to the collections page where you're actually not buying the real NFT. So that's a quick aside, but an important caveat. So looking here, this is the top information where you're seeing the number of items purchased or the number of items, the number of owners, the floor price, which is basically the lowest price that you can buy into it, or that the lowest price that someone has listed their NFT for, and the volume traded. So how much has actually occurred in volume on OpenSea. And here's where some of these numbers are important. So this is a 10,000 PFP project. That means there are 10,000 one of ones and 5,400 owners. So this is important because you generally want something that might be over 50% or so, because if it's a small number of owners, let's say it's 1,000 owners of these 10,000 items of Loser Club NFTs, then the concentrated power, there's a lot of NFTs being held by a small number of people. And this matters because those small handful of owners can totally change the market dynamics. They can dump and totally drop the price. They can hold, or in essence, you're not seeing a wider breadth of market, but you're a concentrated power. So you don't necessarily want that. This is kind of like a healthy ratio, maybe 50% or more. The floor price is the thing that I actually look for first, because that is the lowest price that you can get into immediately. So you can buy in lower if you offer a bid. We can get into that later. But the floor price is basically answering the question, can I get into the project? Okay, now we can go, this is the items tab. I generally like to start with a buy now here. So I can know for sure that all of these can be purchased immediately. And so what you're seeing here is the asking price of the person selling the NFT. And then last is what they last purchased it for. Now, one important term that I think is useful to know and to look at is floor thickness, which basically means how many items are at the floor price. And this is helpful because if there's just one and then the second or third or fourth is far higher, then that's a thin floor. And that's a good thing, because once that floor gets bought up, the price will naturally rise for the project because the floor price has increased. So here you can see, we got a 6 at 0.3. Then it starts to go up incrementally. But I would consider this a relatively thick floor, that it is solid at 0.3. So it's not like there's huge upside with a thin floor. Next, I might go into the activities tab, which is here. And so this is where you can see the historical trends of the project. And so you're seeing here the average price of the NFTs sold on a given day and the volume. So this is important because you generally want to find, or I want to find a liquid project, which basically means that there's enough sales volume on a given day where if I do want to sell, let's say I think that there's an opportunity to use my ETH and just buying ETH and playing the market on the upside there, or I want to trade into a different project, I might want to sell my. So if we're not seeing a lot of liquidity, not a lot of demand, then it might be a little bit harder to offload the project. And then I might be a little bit more uncertain of whether I want to invest ETH, because essentially all of these trades are going to be opportunity costs. You can buy in here, you can put your 0.5 ETH here, or you can do 0.5 ETH in a different project or anything else. So you don't necessarily want to tie it up into something that is going to be totally illiquid. So this is where you can see the number of sales, and you can see kind of like on a timeline basis, like, okay, we're seeing a few sales every hour, which is good. And I think I bought mine at like 0.25 or something. And so, I could sell it at the floor for sure and make maybe a small profit margin. So the sales per day is important to identify whether it can be a liquid project and I can offload it if I need to. And then also that there is still existing demand. Also, I do like to go through an all time just to see how things have trended. Like, did this kind of like start low and then slowly gradually increase to zero point 0.3, or did it moon to say 5 ETH and then it's down to zero point 0.3? So that could be good or bad. It could be a great opportunity now, or it could just be something that's going to be tanking and on its way to zero. But looking at this chart of average sales and average sales price is helpful. And again, take the average price with a grain of salt, because there could be a lot of, or there could be some outliers. And that's the thing with averages is things can be thrown off if there are a few sales that are bringing the average way up or way down. But over time, things can even out and you can kind of see a general trend line here. Now, if some of these things check out and I still want to continue my research and go through with buying one, then I might want to look at rarity. So I'll do more videos on rarity and why it's important and how it's calculated. But rarity is essentially a proxy for, well, it is how rare one of these NFTs is in the whole scope of the project. So in this case, there are 10,000 PFPs, profile pictures, NFTs, and they each have different characteristics. So how rare is a combination of characteristics on a given NFT. The more rare, the better. So there are a lot of tools out there that might help with identifying rarity quickly. I've used an extension here. This is Trait Sniper. I'm actually building one as well. But the point here is that you want to find something on the floor, or in my case, I'm looking for generally things around the floor, because I don't necessarily want to go too high in price, but finding something that might be more rare. So if I am looking to actually purchase, then I would want to go to see what is available. What can I buy that is immediately for sale now? And then my strategy is going to be probably starting at the lower end, so at the floor price. But if there are a few at the floor price, would you rather have one of the more rare ones, which if the project goes up would have more value perceptibly? Or would you rather have just like a common one at the floor price? Well, I would rather have one of the more rare ones, which has more potential to hold value in the long term. So if my goal is, all right, let's just get into Loser Club officials so that we can join the Discord and kind of like reap some of the benefits and the utility of the project. Yeah, I'm going to want the floor price, but I'm going to want one of the more rare ones. So this is where the Trait Sniper tool comes in. But looking at the floor price is helpful here with the buy now filter on. Now, there are a lot more steps that you can do in terms of digging into the previous sale of or previous transactions, so you can see the price trajectory and how it's changed over time. You can look at the Etherscan, which is the actual smart contract, just to look into some of the details of the smart contract. That might be for another video, but this is just kind of like at a simple level what I do when I'm shopping for NFTs on OpenSea. So this is just a quick primer on how I use OpenSea at a high level, just to see what projects are interesting to me as I do more research, as I think that there is some liquidity, that there is some upside, and that this is actually a project that I want to get into. So how I use the different filters and information on OpenSea. I will do more in-depth videos later. Thanks so much for watching, but please subscribe so that you can stay in tune, and best of luck in your NFT journey.